And it is the Saturday Coffee Klatch with Heather Lofthouse.
Good to be back together.
Heather, it is so good to see you. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's 2026.
New Year?
Happy? Let's get into that.
Let's get into it.
What do you want to talk about?
So I do want to look ahead at the new year and think, what are we excited about? God forbid, hopefully some things, but then also what are we worried about?
So let's do the excitement and positive first.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. But also, did you have a good break? I haven't seen you for a week.
Yeah, it was a nice break. It was a nice little break.
And we both staycated. We had staycations.
I staycated because travel is so miserable.
Yeah.
Around the holidays especially, but even not holidays.
Yeah.
And it's been pouring with rain.
But we got my son a new basketball hoop, and we have been playing in the rain.
In the rain.
That's
Great.
dedication.
That's great.
Okay.
Anyway, so here, what I am looking forward to and I'm happy about, the most immediate is Mamdani and his inauguration and the hope and the fact that you've got, he is the mirror image opposite of Donald Trump.
I know. Even though Trump, it was interesting to watch when they met, Trump kind of didn't diss him too much because he's the cool guy and he's charismatic and Trump doesn't want to.
Oh, of course. And Trump knows where the power is. And Mamdani now has the national spotlight and the power. But he also, it's not that he's 34 years old. That is important. But it's not, or that he's a Muslim or he's from Africa, originally Uganda. But he's a democratic socialist, I think, and he's not afraid to talk about democratic socialism.
In fact, he leads with that.
He leads with it.
Yep.
Democratic socialism, since when have we had a democratic social? Donald Trump is not a democratic socialist. He's a malignant narcissist, which is a different
Socialist.
It's
faux socialist.
It's a different movement.
Yeah.
Malignant narcissism, there are a lot of people excited about malignant narcissism.
A lot of PACs supporting that.
But democratic socialism is very different.
And he said, Mamdani, he mentioned it multiple times.
He said it. He said, and I wrote this down. He said, I will govern. I was elected as a democratic socialist, and I will govern as a democratic socialist. I will not abandon my principles for fear of being deemed radical. Now, when was the last major elected official you heard say something like that?
No, I know.
And
did you see AOC and Bernie clapping it up proud in the front row?
The question is, how influential is that going to be on the rest of the country? In the mid-section of the country,
And what can he actually get done in the first 100 days? Because that's a lot of people care about.
I think we've got to keep our expectations very, very low. New York City politics is really complicated. There is every interest group you can imagine, and they are powerful interest groups.
And entrenched.
And they're deeply entrenched. And he, let's be clear. Mamdani ran not on democratic socialism per se. He ran on affordability, on getting the prices down of childcare, of transportation, of housing.
Yep.
And that is what people expect.
And all New Yorkers, all New Yorkers, all New Yorkers.
And he kept on saying now again, the contrast with Trump. Trump, keeps on saying, I am the president of my people, and my people elected me. Sotto voce, I'm not the president of everybody who hates me, and certainly not the president of Colorado or California or any place else that voted against me. But Mamdani is, I am the mayor of all New Yorkers. And this is a very strong statement. And he alludes to Franklin D. Roosevelt and also to Fiorello LaGuardia, my favorite mayor, the little flower. Do you remember? You don't remember.
No, but
LaGuardia.
I didn't know. I'm writing this down. You have a favorite
Well,
mayor.
LaGuardia was so, he was before my time.
Right.
He was in the 30s and 40s. But he was a populist, progressive. He had enormous energy. He said to New Yorkers, we are going to get through this depression. And he did have FDR, unlike
right.
Mamdani in terms of the presidency, who's not necessarily going to be behind him. But Fiorello LaGuardia got the city going. And
is that the airport, LaGuardia?
Well, he did more than the airport.
Yeah,
the
but
airport was named after him.
Exactly, but when you land in LaGuardia, I feel like there should be more of a. Maybe there's like a tour, like a docent is arranged.
Well, there ought to be a Fiorello LaGuardia tour.
And an app. I think just an app. Talk to us about progressive mayors as you land in LaGuardia.
Absolutely. Well, maybe after Mamdani.
If you have to land in LaGuardia.
LaGuardia is very hard.
I know.
To land in. I mean, JFK Airport is also, and Trump is renaming the JFK.
Oh, stop it. He probably would. It's nice that Mamdani doesn't speak of himself in the third person either. There's time.
No, but he's also very humble. This is another contrast. I mean, he talks about him being the mayor of the people, and the people really are in charge. And I remember the story, as the story goes, in 1936 when FDR was taking the presidency again for his second time, some lady came up to him and said, "Mr. President, I want you to do this, 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 and this, and this." And he turned to her, FDR turned to her and said, "Ma'am, I want to do all those, but you must make me." Mm-hmm. I mean, this is critical. Mm-hmm. And Mamdani understands he can only get these things done if New Yorkers are behind him and push for them, including the tax hike.
Yep.
I mean, a tax hike, what Mamdani is saying is, I'm going to do all these things, but to pay for them, particularly childcare, which is the biggest item, we are going to increase taxes on the rich. And people are very excited, and it's very popular. But it does mean if you're going to increase taxes and corporate taxes, you've got to get New Jersey and New York. I mean, he wants to match New Jersey. Mm-hmm. So he's got to get the governor of New York State to go along. Kathy Hochul, is she going to? Maybe.
I know. We'll see. But what I liked watching so much of it was it feels like he's so authentically grateful and feels privileged to have gotten this. Like he doesn't take it for granted. He's not, it's about time. I mean, of course I deserve this. There's not that expectation. It genuinely feels like, okay, let's go. You all have gotten me here. Here I am.
Well,
let's go.
The example, I mean, Trump loves his picture as a scowl. I mean, that is the official White House portrait. That kind of
But the right angle. He really needs fewer chins.
That's right.
It's more than just a scowl.
But the notion is I'm tough and I'm angry and I'm vindictive and you watch out.
Tough guy.
Mamdani is just full of joy. And I think that helped propel him into the mayoral seat.
Which will knock it out of him, because I can't imagine it's going to be hard to maintain the joy in that position.
Well, I remember Bill de Blasio. He came in, and several people who worked for Bill de Blasio were now working for Mamdani. Bill de Blasio came in with great ideas and a lot of energy and a lot of hope. But you're right. He did not smile after the first month.
Well, I think Mamdani will continue to smile, but it's going to be hard.
Remember, I interviewed him.
Do I know this?
Mamdani.
Oh, Mamdani, I knew. I thought de Blasio. I was like, I haven't seen that in the
de Blasio too.
The archival.
But Mamdani, this was only about a month and a half ago. And he radiated, he exuded happiness and joy.
Yeah.
I mean, the opposite. He is the polar opposite of Donald Trump.
I know. Who's the supreme victim. Emphasis on the supreme.
And the supreme, just vindictive, awful, loathsome. I think is Trump he is clearly the most loathsome president we've ever had.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Hands down.
Hands down. Loathsome. Okay, but before we get into the worries or into the, things we're paying attention to that we have to be concerned about, can we do a few more positives?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think if you're asking me,
you.
I'm very optimistic about the Democrats this year, and Democrats and independents taking over more and more, and I hope and I expect taking over Congress,
right,
the Senate and the House.
So we have other governor-elects who are coming in who are Dems who we didn't think they would win.
In Virginia, New Jersey.
Right. We also have, out of Iowa, the Dems were able to hold back and retain this one seat, and so the GOP did not get a supermajority there. That was just the other day, wasn't it? So these things are happening. I think people are realizing
Well, Democrats,
we can't have this.
Over the last 7 months, Democrats have flipped every single Republican seat they have sought. Republicans have not flipped a single Democratic seat.
Such a good statistic. Say it again. I like this.
I just said it.
I know, but it's so great. I want it
Well,
on
we're
repeat.
talking about Republicans have not flipped a single Democratic seat, and the Democrats are doing gangbusters, and it really does portend well. It also means, and here I'm going to slide into some fears I have about. May I do that? Are we ahead of schedule?
Okay. Wait, don't we have more positives?
We have more
What about
positives.
the courts? You always love a court.
Yes. Okay. We'll go to the courts.
Okay, do the courts then. You love the courts.
I think the federal courts have done an extraordinary job.
I knew it.
I mean, they really have. Put the Supreme Court to one side, because the Supreme Court really takes only a tiny portion of the cases that go to the Supreme Court. And the federal courts, I'm talking about the district courts and the Court of Appeals, they are staffed. I mean, the judges are appointed by Republicans as well as Democrats. Many of the George W. Bush and even Reagan and certainly even the Trump appointees have done a very credible job. They've done, and what they just did, and even the Supreme Court just said no to Donald Trump in terms of using the National Guard. And Trump just backed down. And this is a wonderful omen, Heather.
Trump backed down.
Trump backed down, and he backed down not the way he normally backs down, which is, he doesn't say anything, and he says, well, I could have done it, and he blames somebody else. No, he just absolutely said, no, I'm going to take the National Guard out of Chicago and out of Portland and out of what was the third? I guess it was New Orleans. And he is saying, okay, I agree. I'm not going to contest it.
And his Republican cronies there's a crack up happening. So we've already talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We don't have to talk
Lauren
about
Boebert.
I know, that was the new one.
In Colorado.
So Trump uses the first veto of his second presidency to say, drinking water for 50,000 people in eastern Colorado.
This was a big, big deal. This is a big infrastructure project to take the water from the Arkansas River. And Colorado needs water badly. And so Lauren Boebert, it's her district. This is eastern Colorado. This is the conservative part of Colorado. And this is so politically stupid. Donald Trump says no. He's vetoing
why?
it. Because he's angry at Colorado.
Yeah.
He has a vendetta against Colorado. Vendetta.
It's like Venn diagram.
Vendetta. Voodoo data. No, he doesn't. He's decided that he's going to not just California. He's going to take everything out on California, but he's going to go after Colorado. He's going to go after Colorado because for 3 elections in a row, they have dinged him, and they also the Colorado government is not giving a pass to the name. I can't remember her name. A woman who.
Oh, the conspiracy theorist.
That's right. She
about the election.
Well, she was actually convicted of falsifying some ballots, and because Trump could not give a federal pardon to somebody who is at the state level who's convicted, and they will not give her a pardon. So he is even more angry at Colorado. This is the vindictive, stupid adolescent.
But not giving people drinking water?
Well,
imagine his childhood. Can we just for a minute? I mean,
I don't want to imagine his childhood.
I just think it's so
we're in the
cruel.
Upbeat part of this.
Okay, fine.
2026.
It's so cruel, though. I mean, you must be conditioned to be able to be that cruel.
Well, one of the books I read over the break was Mary Trump's book
I haven't read
about
it yet.
Donald Trump.
Insightful?
Mary Trump I thought it was very insightful. It was repetitive. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as a great work of nonfiction, but it's very insightful in terms of seeing how Fred Trump.
Yes.
Trump. I think the family was originally Trump from Germany,
yeah.
But Fred Trump, Donald's father, was so kind of ungiving, unloving.
I knew it, of course.
and basically destroyed Fred Jr. But in the process, lived vicariously through the brassness, the kind of brashness of Donald. And Donald grew up thinking that he was invincible.
But inside.
Yeah, that's right.
Is
Inside.
an insecure.
Oh, totally insecure.
Right.
But if you have really a son of a bitch father and a mother who's not really present, it's not surprising that you get somebody.
That's my
like
point. Who cuts off the drinking water?
Yeah,
because of previous scores he's keeping.
That's right. That's all he's doing is keeping score. I mean, it's with Donald Trump. It is scorekeeping, and it's also everything is a transaction. So it's transactional and scorekeeping, and I think we're going to see more of it.
I worry. There's nothing worse than a tyrant gaining power. I feel like a tyrant losing power is very scary.
A tyrant cornered.
Yes.
You want to get into my worries about this
Well, can we do one more positive?
Okay.
Epstein? So
is that a positive?
Well, but it's been fascinating because I haven't seen you since all the redactions came out and everyone just copied and pasted it because it wasn't really redacted. It just had a box over it. And so it was fascinating to watch the DOJ, the incompetence, which we know has been happening. And so that kind of, and I talked to a couple people over the holidays who were kind of whispering and saying, my parents are no longer Trump fans. And I said, ooh, tell me why. And they said, no, we can't. We haven't asked. We think it's Epstein, but we don't want to jinx it. And so it's been interesting to talk to different people and see things are changing.
I think that Epstein represents, in many ways, the weakest part of Donald Trump's hold over MAGA, because it's very hard for many of the MAGA people to accept pedophilia for obvious reasons. And Donald Trump clearly, and what is coming out drip, 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 and more of it through the Justice Department, because here again, if you want to be positive, and I thought you were going in this direction, what we had is a bipartisan, strong, bipartisan agreement, Democrats and Republicans in Congress saying you have got to release everything on Epstein. And they still haven't released everything, but there are millions of things are being released, and Trump is all over them.
Yep.
So all of the MAGA people who were concerned that Trump was doing nefarious things with Epstein or in addition to Epstein are now seeing that they were probably right.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. Okay, fine.
What
are we worried about? The same things. Let's start from the beginning.
Well, no.
The other side of the same
I'll tell you
things.
what, the big thing I am worried about is that 2026, a lot of people, the billionaires, the bottom feeders, the grifters, the crypto people, the tech people, I mean, the people who have taken advantage of Trump. Trump won, but big time over the last year. They know that the chances are very high that this is the last year that they can raid America, that they can siphon off all of the benefits and destroy all of the
grease
institutions.
The palms.
And they're going to, knowing that this is the last year, they may put everything into it.
And they already have. This New York Times piece that came out, I feel like a couple weeks ago now, but it was so great. I don't know if anyone else saw it. It had this data visualization of all these bubbles who represent donors. And so 346 some donors have given $250,000 or more each. And more than half of them, we have already seen blatantly they're getting stuff back. There is a perfect circle.
Perfect circle.
Yeah.
This is...
You give, I give you, you give my industry. I give you give my cousin a job.
This is transaction. It's also extortion because if you have to grease his palm, you've got to grease the Republican Party's palm. You've got to keep that that stuff coming. Some of it is going directly to Donald Trump and his family. Some of it's going to the Republicans. Some of it's going to both.
To the ballroom.
To the ballroom. But yes, he's keeping score. They know he's keeping score. They know it's extortion. They know it's an extortion racket.
And it's pet projects or it's companies and industries. I mean, it really runs the gamut. It's corruption, pay to play 101.
It's big time corruption. And some of the biggest corruptors are high tech. I mean, it's artificial intelligence. It's AI. The tech industry has gotten away with murder under Donald Trump. And, tech, remember all of the, Europe is putting all these regulations on AI. Europe has regulated social media in terms of truth. Europe is boxing in technology, the high tech. In terms of the negative stuff, look, let's be clear. Artificial intelligence may be great for doing certain things, and that's fine, but it also poses huge dangers. And talk about the dangers. If we don't do anything about it, if we don't regulate it, if there's no guardrail, I mean, we could see civilization in deep, deep doo-doo.
I know it.
And a lot of children are already being pulled in. A lot of teenagers, these chat, the chat GTP and all of the chat boxes. Europe is doing
Chat GPT and chat bots.
Chat bots.
I'll translate for you.
That's right. But Heather, right now, high tech and all of the tech industry, which is leading the entire economy right now.
And minted. I mean, they are just...
And creating billionaire after billionaire after billionaire.
And how is the average everyday working class American? Healthcare, the premiums, I mean, we are here. It is January of 2026. By the way, anniversary of you-know-what, January 6th coming up. We should talk about that. But these people, I mean, people are scared. I saw this report out of Axios that said these are the Google terms that were and the trends for what was searched all last year. And there are lots of things that have blips, around. Real ID had a blip or Mamdani had a blip. But inflation was a fat bar the entire year. I mean, people are worried about their financial situation.
When people talk about inflation, what they're really talking about is the cost of living. Inflation is sort of a shorthand way of talking about, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I just can't afford it. And healthcare, you started to mention, healthcare costs are really soaring, starting January 1st, last Thursday, partly because all of those Obamacare subsidies that the Democrats and Republicans were fighting about. Democrats wanted to continue them. Republicans say, no, we don't want to continue them. We had a government shutdown over that. And now those subsidies have stopped. So what happens? The average family is facing huge healthcare insurance costs or basically giving up insurance altogether.
I know it. And then I'm still so concerned about USAID and science and what has been happening. And you saw that Tatiana Schlossberg passed away so tragically, age 35, from leukemia, blood cancer. And the family spoke out about their cousin, uncle, whatever he is, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and the fact that he's cut back all this funding on vaccines and mRNA research, which would have helped vaccines, but also cancer research. And just USAID, the numbers, I just picture these reports continuing to come out, how it's affected men and women, women and children in particular.
All around the world. Well, you have
how do
USAID.
We come back from this?
The two things you just mentioned, USAID and science funding.
Yeah, R&D.
There is a lag time in terms of seeing how bad things are when you cut back in foreign USAID and also in science. And my concern is that lag time is we're going to be paying the price, not this year, in 2026, but in 27, 28, in 2030, and 2050. America is less prepared. Our public health institutions have been shattered by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I mean, what a fellow, Trump put somebody in charge. A worm has eaten part of his brain. He's a fanatic. He in turn puts people in charge of the National Institutes of Health, of FDA, of all of the public health institutions that we desperately need, who are incompetent.
So the people there are incompetent. And then, of course, he's shutting down so much. So the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, not looking good for 2026. So that's I worry about so many people here, but then also what he's doing abroad. Can we talk a little bit about that? I mean, I know we tend to focus on domestic stuff.
There is a term called foreign policy. And people, there are specialists in foreign policy.
Yeah.
There are courses in foreign policy. There are books written about foreign policy. The assumption being that policy stands for some thinking.
Strategy.
Some facts.
Analysis.
Some logic. There is no foreign policy under Donald Trump. I mean, is he trying to stop drug smuggling from the Caribbean? Yes, he's doing it through bombing, but he's also giving a big pardon to the biggest drug king, in terms of the former president of Honduras, Hernandez. A pardon. I mean, this guy was one of the biggest smugglers of cocaine into the United States. So what's the foreign policy there? What's the foreign policy in Ukraine? What is he actually doing in Ukraine? Well, it looks, unfortunately, as if Putin is going to win the eastern part of Ukraine, at the very least. Putin has not budged.
I know. And Zelensky goes to Mar-a-Lago, and Trump is like, hold on one second, I'm just taking this call with Putin. I'll be right with you.
Yes, I understand.
Practically.
Putin, I know, because Putin knows.
Just give me 1 minute. I'm just finishing up.
Give him my best. No, give him my worst. Putin understands that Trump responds to the last person who talked to him.
Yep.
So Zelensky talks to him, and and Trump sounds, well, maybe maybe we ought to be a little bit harder on Putin. And then Putin talks to him by phone.
As everyone at Mar-a-Lago for New Year's Eve is doing caviar ice luges. I mean, it's just caviar and ice sculptures and.
But also Netanyahu. I mean, Putin and not Netanyahu and Viktor Orban from Hungary. I mean, these are the authoritarians of the world, and Trump actually will do whatever Netanyahu wants.
But this is very scary. So now we have the domestic front is scary for so many reasons, but this international stuff scares me big time. What was the latest that he's done the CIA, who did it? We don't know.
Oh, in terms of
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Yeah, the CIA claims responsibility, but of course it's all under Trump. And that is to bomb the docks in Venezuela. We don't know where this is going. And it's clear, Heather, that what Trump wants is Venezuelan oil. And he wants that. The oil fields are huge in Venezuela. And U.S. companies, Chevron and ExxonMobil, left Venezuela and were forced out. And who came into Venezuela to take up the slack? The Chinese and the Russians. And Maduro is a terrible person. I mean, he's a horrible, vicious authoritarian. So there are good reasons to try to move him out, but the American public has not been given any reason. Congress has not declared war. There is no justification for war. There's no justification for killing Venezuelans. It's a huge problem, and it looks like there's no necessary end to it, certainly not in 2026.
So what I fear is that how he escalates everything, and it's on Truth Social. Remember him coming down the escalator? I feel like he's going up the escalator. He just is constantly.
He's escalating.
He escalates everything. I mean, even when Tatiana Schlossberg passed away, I mean, he doesn't say anything, commiseration, sympathy.
He doesn't
condolences.
He doesn't know commiseration.
He reposts things trashing the Kennedy family over and over.
Look what he did with the Reiners.
I
it's
know.
the same kind of thing. It's kind of this. I use this term loathsome because I can't come up with a better adjective.
I think it's pretty good.
But it's this loathsome character. Now, it is possible to be a president of the United States who is loathsome and even do some good things. I mean, we've had. I mean, Ulysses S. Grant was a pretty loathsome person. Right. He was a drunk.
Yeah.
He was a womanizer, but he did a few good things.
Right.
It's
I'm
possible.
less hopeful, but it's possible.
But with Trump, it's not. A lot of commentators say the biggest problem with Trump is he's a terrible, loathsome human being. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that it translates into horrible, I was going to say policies, but they're not even policies. They're just knee-jerk
outcomes, outputs.
responses, just nasty and dangerous.
Yeah.
So you're feeling pretty good about 2026.
No, but also, so at the same time, and then we have ICE is just recruiting like it's going out of style. And the big, ugly bill.
Well, this is part of ICE.
Is happening. I mean, now we are into it.
Remember, ICE's budget increased dramatically through the big, ugly bill. The big, ugly bill goes into effect now. That big budget increase goes into effect now. ICE is buying up warehouses to put people who are arrested and detained who are suspected of being undocumented workers. I mean, there's not even due process. They're suspected of being undocumented.
So I do feel a little that for the positive, we say, okay, no National Guard. And then we say, oh, but ICE. I mean, is it really going to be this game of it's the scales?
Well,
are we living the scales again for 2026?
I think that the resistance, let's call it the resistance, even among Republicans, who we said just a moment ago are starting to turn, MAGA is crumbling. I think that the forces that are trying to constrain Trump, including the courts, are growing in force and power. And that's all good. And I think that gives me some solace and some hope for this year. But because, as you said, Trump is cornered and he escalates and gets more and more entrenched when he's cornered. That's the big problem.
And he feels like he's losing power and he sees his name in all the Epstein files and he sees people watching it on their computers. I mean, it's kind of that he's this voyeur. I think he experiences through his perception of what the masses think of him. I mean, it's so self-obsessed.
Well, he is obviously self-obsessed. And again, he feels as if he is invincible or should be invincible and gets very angry, particularly when he is not shown to be invincible. One thing I also did over the holidays was look at Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert.
Oh, you watched some comedy?
I did. But what struck me is that the comedians who've taken on Trump have now just lost any constraint that they had. I mean, to the extent that they had any constraint at all. South Park. Have you watched South Park?
Years ago, yeah.
Well, you should watch it again.
Is it still on?
Yes.
It's like The Simpsons. It's never ending?
It is now more beyond anti-Trump.
I'd like to see your algorithms on your feed, on your Netflix and everywhere.
I was watching the other day. There was a whole cartoon about the size of Trump's penis. I mean, this is where...
Is that satire or reality?
I don't know,
right,
to tell you the truth. Look at
that's a valve for people, right? It's like, comedy helps us get through.
But Trump hates
I know. The butt of the joke.
To be joked about. The humiliation he feels when he is part of a joke. I mean, look what he did to Colbert. Look what he tried to do to Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
I mean, he is trying. So I think we can probably anticipate that there'll be more efforts by Trump to silence critics and people who are making fun of him.
What about the website that a South Park writer purchased?
Yeah.
What was it? The Trump Kennedy Center?
I have something. He was a South Park writer. It's the TrumpKennedyCenter.org. He purchased
this URL. It's so good.
Because he anticipated that Trump would want his name on the Kennedy Center. So the TrumpKennedyCenter.org, it said, the most recent one I read, ring in the new year with a performance by the Epstein dancers.
It's so bad.
I mean, and then there's something else. He calls it, this is the Trump Kennedy Center, a national cultural center dedicated to legacy, loyalty, and the careful presentation of history.
Exactly.
We invite you to experience culture as authority, pageantry as truth, and excellence as defined by those in power. Well,
so accurate.
This is good satire in terms of it's truthful.
So
and it's
next
powerful.
week we have a couple days until.
You're looking. Does that mean we've run out of time?
Yeah, I'm like, this guy. Are we done yet? No, I'm saying January 6th is coming up.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Do I remember?
I mean,
so it's
watching
the fifth anniversary. Can you imagine?
And we remember watching the select committee. I mean, and the actual videos of what happened. I mean, those.
Well, most people remember watching on television the attack on the Capitol, and it was horrific. I remember sitting there thinking, this can't possibly be happening. Now, America is notorious for having a short memory and a collective amnesia. So it's very important that people, all of us, take a few minutes, I think on January 6th, to remember the 5th anniversary of an attempted coup on the United States that was engineered, certainly exacerbated, by Donald Trump.
Do you think he'll say anything that day?
No.
You don't think at all?
Oh, you mean will he?
He will, do some AI video that he'll post where he's flying over the universe in a rocket, and there'll be some
interesting
hat
question.
nod.
Interesting question.
I bet we'll see. And then we had Jack Smith came back and did a closed door testimonial, right?
He did closed door testimony to the House Judiciary Committee just last week, and interestingly, Smith, who was the lead prosecutor of Trump under Merrick Garland. Smith, actually, he was the special prosecutor. Smith wanted it to be an open hearing because he really wanted an opportunity to present his story to the public. And, of course, the Republicans would not allow that.
No.
But we did get the transcript. And Smith is very, very clear that were it not for Donald Trump, we would not have had the chaos and deaths and real just the fear that January 6th created. I mean, January 6th should live in America as a day of infamy.
Yep. And so we have the 250th anniversary of the United States.
That's
and our
coming up.
Declaration of
Yes.
Independence coming up. But then we also have the FIFA World Cup is coming up and being hosted here, which will be fascinating. Now, I'm not a football as most of the world says.
You mean
soccer?
Soccer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a soccer. That's not my sport.
Well, Trump got the FIFA award for world peace,
which makes sense. I mean, it's all the whole thing makes perfect sense.
And
him, FIFA, peace.
Well, it's also this FIFA's president. He's a major Trump suck up.
But what I hate about it is it's an opportunity for him to have the world looking at him.
For Trump.
Yeah, for hosting FIFA and who's here and what's he going to do. And so it'll be interesting to see how he makes 2026 about him yet again.
Oh,
the
of
year
course
of Trump,
he will.
the year of Trump,
he will do.
the year
I mean,
of Trump
and
what
he wants to do on June, what? I think his birthday is June 10th.
Oh.
So he was going to
Is
want
it June 10th?
Yeah. June 14th.
14th, yeah. My
14th.
high school sweetheart's birthday was June 10th.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my birthday is June 24th.
Yeah, I know.
And I was born same
on
year
June
as
24th.
The same year as
What's
Donald
weird
Trump.
is my birthday's June 24th and I was born on June 24th.
In 1946.
I know it. And you're both turning 80.
Both turning 80.
Wow, Bob.
80 used to be very old.
No, not anymore.
I feel like I'm
Yeah.
79.
Yeah.
I mean,
You look like you're 79-ish.
Thank you. You're just
great.
saying that.
Look great.
But yes, and Trump wants his birthday to be, as he tried last year and failed, but he wants it to be a big 250th anniversary that is sotto voce Trump anniversary. And so,
Can you imagine that in your cells? Wanting so much attention.
the degree of insecurity
Yes.
that must represent. I mean, how can you be
Me.
so, and it must be that deep down he's so tangled up and so needy and so angry and so unhappy. So do you feel empathy toward him?
No. I wish I could. I wish I could rise above it all and feel just even a shred, but I don't.
Well, this is a
But
time.
I do for most people,
This
just
is
to be
time
clear.
for New Year's resolutions too.
That ain't making the list. Sorry to be
What's on
so.
your list? What's on your list?
Everyone but Donald. I will have empathy for everyone else.
That's so kind of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't do New Year's resolutions. Do you? Actually?
I do. Well, I do in terms of my personal habits. What am I going to change? What I'm going to try to change. I never change anything.
Right.
I'm
Let's
gonna
be
try to
clear.
change.
Let's be clear. Me too. I'm going to compost more. I'm going to drink more water.
Are you going to compost more in 2026?
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very lovely. And you're going to drink more water. That's terrific.
Yeah. And have empathy
I'm
for
going
everyone.
to work a little bit less.
Bob,
Yeah.
we support this.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try. Yeah.
A little bit less.
One Substack a day if I possibly can.
Wow. We support this.
Yeah,
I
thank
know
you.
we do, collectively.
Thank you.
As long as we get something.
Well, you're going to get a lot, And I'm also going to be a more empathic, or is it empathetic? Empathic human being. And
Or is it empathetic?
I think it's empathetic.
I think it's empathetic.
Yeah.
Next year, we'll do one this year. You be empathetic this year. 2027, be empathic.
If we get there.
I think empathic is
I think that's right. It's
more channeling.
Channeling.
Yeah.
What else? For New Year's resolutions, I'm going to read more great novels.
Ooh, that's a goodie.
Yeah.
What'd you read? Oh, what'd you read over the break? Did we talk about this already? No.
Well, I mentioned Mary Trump.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Her the book. I think the title is something like More of Everything, Too Much of Everything. Something like that. And I want to read E. Jean Carroll. You have been.
I have told you to read that book.
Yeah.
It is so fantastic. Not my type.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a scary look at this man, and she has such humor and I don't know. There's a depth of perception. She's cool. Oh, I can't wait for you to read that.
I will.
I just finished A Gentleman in Moscow, which a lot of people read, Amor Tolls, years ago, but somehow I just got a hold of it and read that. And then I do a lot of murder mysteries. I've told you this before.
Yeah.
So I'm reading In the Woods by Tanya French, which I think a lot of people have read that.
I've heard that's a good book.
Yeah.
I have also heard that Coming Up Short.
Oh. By Robert Reich.
Reich.
I think it's Reich.
Reich. It's pronounced Reich. People say that once they put it down, they can't pick it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that kind of book.
Yeah, I've heard.
Heather, I want to wish you a great 2026.
And serene. Can we have serene?
Serene.
I need some words like
serene,
that. Great. I don't like great.
It's not going to be serene. What's adjective would you like me to give you for 2026?
Well, we might need
Restful?
a couple. Yeah.
Happy? No.
Great has been usurped, by the way.
And I want to wish, if I may, I also want to wish you a great, if not serene, if not restful, 2026. It is not going to be an easy year for all the reasons that Heather and I talked about. I do think that many of the people, the billionaires and the bottom feeders and the crypto crowd and the high-tech crowd, and many of them who exploited the country and siphoned off so much of the wealth this past year because there were no guardrails, because regulations were absent, because antitrust became a dead letter. I think they're going to try even harder, and they want even less government. But I was struck by something that Mamdani said in his inaugural speech. He rejected the phrase that this is an era of small government and that we want small government. He said that government really is needed, is necessary. It needs to be on the side of people, that people need government. And I think that sentiment, that government is necessary because it protects us, because it enables us to be more secure, because it reduces fear, is a sentiment that we need to keep in mind. And we don't have to be all social democrats to understand that. Franklin D. Roosevelt talked about that a great deal in the 1930s, even in the Second World War. My parents, like many of your parents or maybe your grandparents or some of your great-grandparents, they sacrificed everything. They sacrificed for the United States, for this concept of government as being there for us, a set of institutions, a set of processes that we depend on. We have forgotten how important that is. It's become very fashionable in both political parties to dump on government, to say, as Bill Clinton did, the era of big government is over. Well, I think we're starting to realize how important government of the people, by the people, for the people actually is. And so my wish for all of you is that 2026 begins a process by which we appreciate democracy, the rule of law, social justice, and the importance of government. Happy New Year.